Alongside their pizza hutch, they could go to Italian Vino. Alright. Back in the Shadowrun Dragonfall. Oh my gosh. I can't talk to you. For whatever reason. Right, who is aware in this? There's Iger, Bannock. The dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Iger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soy calf. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. Boy, Iger, been a long time. Taps the thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keep him busy? You could say that. Glug P. Trash. This is Bannock. He's a friend. Don't know if I'd go that far. Sorry for the hiccups there. I can personally understand. If I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. Professional acquaintance, then. Better. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? Let's. We need intel on the engineer. Where he's been staying, who he's been working for, how long he's been in Shot Nest. Whatever you got, we want it. Wait for it. Wait for it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse, and of course I'll give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Oh no. What? OBS? What is going on with you, OBS? Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. All right. What you're looking for is the northwest. What you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Shatnust. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole keys is being held by the Rambach. I've had a run-in with a Rambach before. We can handle him. Wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. The guy that filled the power vacuum when their last leader bit is a real piece of work. But hey, maybe you're right. I hope so, for your sake. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of a building. This warehouse, right here, is Rambach HQ. That's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet. And they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you this. The last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and the Rambach. No good could come of that. Can't argue with that. No, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. What I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit down with them. Panic reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. Gonna tell us what it is, or we're gonna have to guess. He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. I have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're gonna find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It's a rubberized grip and a hair trigger. It's good for one shot. The stun gun? No. Pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here at a great personal expense. For a supermax prison in the UCAS. She's twirling the air with her fork. The warden owed me a favor. Very nice, Panic. That should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. Wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. And the engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless you can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. If we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated is the same thing as broken. Till then, his life will be a living hell. But I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. That's handy. Making people uncomfortable is my specialty. Truer words have never been spoken. Thanks, Panic. We'll let you know how things work out. Alright. Let's send some drugs to the stash. Don't bother. I'll be watching. You watching? Alright. Yeah, I remember also the, before like 2000, I want to say before like 2016 or 2017, the first couple of Shadowrun games had pretty rough UI, especially for like TVs and large displays. It was tough for me to play them. But they, since they added some larger, some like high quality, larger font stuff. Yeah, I have no way of doing that, so I'm just glad that they added the high quality, large font stuff. So, yeah. All right, where would you like to travel? Alright, let's, hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, I gotta wait until afterwards to push that forward on the on her sort of optional mission. So yeah, we're gonna do the We're gonna do the, we're gonna do this engineer mission first. And then we'll get to the other thing afterwards. Alright, Iger, let's go. Shot nest, the keys next door to the Curry's Bazaar. And an object lesson in anarchy gone wrong. Violent gangs rule the streets here, trading territory to the roar of gunfire. Streets are a war zone. As dangerous as Shot Nest already is, it could be worse. The gangs are vicious but disorganized. They pose little risk to their neighbors. With little more than a makeshift barricade and a few volunteers, Curry's Bazaar has successfully insulated itself from the chaos of the neighboring keys. The engineer could change all of that. He has to be stopped. The F state as a whole needs to be alerted to what his clients are trying to do. It's up to you and I to make sure that it happens. All right. As you near the edge of the Croy's Bazaar, the familiar piss and asphalt stitch of the Shot Nest crawls into your nostrils and sticks in the back of your throat. Dilapidated husks of burnt-out buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. I was hoping I'd put this place behind me after the Abanis run. Yeah, I'm with you there. Funny thing is, the Syndicate presence might actually help Shot Nest. In the short term, at least. They clean up the streets, if nothing else. In that case, maybe we should just forget about this. Not on your life. A syndicate, any syndicate in Shot Nest would be a disaster for the Croy's Bazaar. Let the people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. Won't allow my home to be in danger for their sake. Alright. You again? Well, you ignored my warning last time, and you ain't dead, so I guess you can handle it yourself. Let him through, Sergei. Oh, what's over here? Alright, 60-something million. What do we got? Bliss. We're gonna send this to our stash. Rambot gang ahead. Maybe there's a way around. go this way then. We'll avoid. We'll avoid. I got pots and pans, You need pots and pans? How about some info would be nice. You seen any new friends of the ROM box show up lately? Yeah, sure I have. What's it to ya? I'm gonna eyes you up and down, clearly waiting for you to make an offer. Just trying to help out the neighborhood. We're just down the street. In the warehouse with the grass out front. New guy showed up a few days ago. Seems like a bigwig. They've been moving product through there ever since. What kind of product? That costs you extra, sweetie. Is it important? Yeah. Drugs, guns, the usual. Seems like more drugs than guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. Thanks. No problem, honey. I got the best deal on pots and pans this side of Spando. I'm new in town. What's hot around here? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All there is to do in shouting us is get your ass beat by the gangs until you decide to join one. Which gang are you in? I'm in the former camp. I'm still in the former camp. I've heard what that Reinbach can do to haze new members. I'll take getting pushed around every once in a while over that. Just looking for some information. Bet you are. I've seen your type before. You're probably looking for somewhere. Looking for something that's been stolen. Either way, the Reinbach won't be happy about you sticking your nose in a shotting nest. Alright, I'm leaving. Alright. Door panel. Got any ideas? Looks secure. Be able to blast it open with a controlled explosive. That helps spook anyone inside. Probably best if we could just find the code. Engine's still warm. Colors on the tail are clearly marked as Rombach property. The warehouse you told me about is locked up with a key code panel. You know anything about that? What have I got money-wise? 3,427? I could deal with that. 500, no less. I gotta make a living, you know. Code is 292 something. I don't know the last number. That'll get you most of the way. Enjoy. I'm not going near that place. Good luck. Wow. All right. 292 something. Well, let's just try it. Hey, there we go. Door unlocks. Oh. In there. That's our man. That's him? Alright. Let's hope that... That's okay, though. That's just fine. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? There we go. Out of ammo. Who's hurting? Come on. Lousy stinking. Ugh. Finally flattened him. Who's in here? A lieutenant and a mage. Number 3. Let's heal up. Let's cast armor 3 on you. Yeah. Well. Platinum. Okay. Oh, you're in, let me guess, you're in Overwatch, aren't you? Guess what else? What? Anyway. Flattened with a basic spell. Nothing down here? We're fine. Bleh. It's alright. Good. Ah. Where's the... What do you mean not enough AP? Come on. Oh, jeez. Well, great. Great. No, no, no. Forget this. Load. I messed up my thing. That's okay. I'll get it this time. Okay. Number one. Oh, come on. Why did it rearrange? There we go. No, I gotta be standing right next to him. Oh, good, okay. Alright. Alright, well. Flattened. Let me drive this guy back to the warehouse. I'm gonna find out what he knows. The engineer lays splayed out on the ground, his body trembling violently. Iger shoves a bottle up his nose and squeezes. The engineer shudders violently, then the trembling begins to subside. Aerosol BZD to help treat the seizures. Panic was kind enough to include it in his goodie bag. It won't last long, but it should give Yuli enough. It should give Yuli here enough muscular control to answer a few questions. Fuck you, troll. See, he's talking already. The engineer's eyes burn with hate. Beads of sweat dot his brow as he struggles to control the tremors that wreck his body. He takes a deep breath, holds it, and releases it slowly. The trembling begins to subside. Oh. We got some questions for you. You better have some answers. I know the troll, bitch. We have history. But you're a stranger to me. Are you sure that you have the stomach for this stranger? Not many do. I have the stomach for all sorts of things. Things you can't even imagine, Julie. Shadowrunner thinks she can frighten me. How adorable. Oh, you should be frightened. She slaps him across the face, splitting his lip down the middle. The impact sounds like a gunshot. You're in serious trouble, my friend. Tiger leans in towards the engineer. He recoils, grinding the back of his head against the grease-stained Duraplast tiles. Oh my gosh. What payroll are you on? Full of the orc's hair and lifts his head. Her face is inches from his. Look who sent you to Shot Nest. Alright, if you want to know so badly, I'll tell you. Tamanu sent me here. They want to use Shot Nest as a base of operations in Berlin. My point of contact is a ghoul named Beetle. There, you got your intel. Set me free or kill me. Yuli, you wouldn't roll over an employer this easily. Your rep tells me that much. No. No, Iger's right. You're jerking us around. You wanted a name, I gave you a name. One more, I can give you those too. I named you 100 clients who'd love a piece of Shot Nest. How do you intend to determine who really sent me? I have a couple ideas. You can try beating the truth out of me. You can try cutting on me. You get creative with the pliers if you like. Every time you hurt me, I'll give you a different name. Torture me or don't, it'll all end the same way. I'll be dead. You'll know nothing for certain. My clients will move ahead on schedule. Help us out then, if you're already dead. I care about being a snitch. I won't give your she-troll the satisfaction. She wants it, and that's why she won't get it. Irish hands bunching of fists. She's still smiling, but you can feel the heat of hatred behind her eyes. You don't start telling me what I want to hear in the next 30 seconds. This is going to get messy. I know that look, Yuli. I'd start talking if I were... You know, I'd like to tell you a story. Yeah, I know. The engineer cuts you off. A perverse smile has spread itself across his face. You know why? He takes his time pronouncing the name, savors it. I'd like to tell you a story. We share so much history, you and I. Iger says, nothing but her eyes narrow. This is a funny story. It's about the time in the KSK. A story about futility. I can tell you about the many lives you've touched and how the syndicates touched them again afterward. Would you like that? There's a long pause. Eventually, Iger turns to face you. Oh, Peach Fresh, do me a favor. Sweep the building for intel. Anything we might have missed on our way in. Yeah, I'm on it. Take care of a friend here. Yeah, don't worry. I will. Oh. Corpse. The broken body of a human man lies on the floor. His face is a mess of fresh cuts and congealing blood, and his head is oddly deformed. Despite his wounds, his mouth is twisted in a macabre smile. Inspect the body. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull was fractured in at least 3 places. The center of his forehead is particularly gruesome. It looks soft, as though the skin was stretched like a tent between shards of broken bone. Yeah. You see a great smear of gore on the door of the room that you found him in. Implications are clear. This man bashed his own head in trying to get out. He did it with a smile on his face. His hands are badly broken, too. You've seen these sorts of injuries after bare-knuckle fistfights. Never anything this severe. And punched something hard and went on punching until his hands were reduced to useless slabs of meat. Jeez, dude. Wow. That is messed up. Chemical storage barrels. A light joshel shows that they're completely empty. Courier drone to the northeast. Looks melted. The cargo container is empty. Generic courier drone has been snapped together out of prefab parts. Excuse me. From a dozen different manufacturers. It's a cheap utilitarian thing. Remarkable only in that it is so incredibly plain. A half-bright teenager could cobble something like this together in an afternoon. The drone sits in a charging cable. Turbofan unpowered. A cheerful green light blinks on its front panel to remind you that it's still active. You can see the silhouette of something under the flimsy plastic drone. Drone's cargo compartment. Whoever built that thing was here to deliver. It's still carrying it. The lid on the cargo container. You depress the latch on the container's plastic lid. Rather than swinging open, the lid slides to reveal a touchpad. Looks as though this thing is password locked. Examine the drone more closely. Taking a closer look, you see something strange. There's a set of electrical contact plates lining the tip of the drone's cargo compartment. It's spread a bit that this thing is outfitted with an anti-tampering system of some kind. Man, what could it be? Alright, we're gonna step away for a minute. Ledger. There's a small ledger lying on this crate. The cover is a cheap leatherette and the paper's tissue-thin newsprint. Pages are filled to overflowing with handwritten text. You don't recognize the language, but judging by its accent marks, you'd guess it's a Scandinavian tongue. Well, you can't read it. The arrangement of the text tells you that the ledger is primarily being used as an address book. Pocket the book and move on. Forklift. Forklift's tires are flat. Looks like it hasn't been used in years. As you approach, you can see that the engineer's chest is sheeted with blood. Most of it seems to be streaming from his nose, which has been crushed into a wad of bloody meat. Ira turns to face you. Her bunched fists are dripping red. Find anything? She speaks to you through clenched teeth. Her voice sounds strained and her cheeks are flushed. Having fun? Not doing this for fun. I'm doing this because he deserves it. You know half of what this bastard has done. You heard the things he just told me. You do the same. Fair enough. Just don't get carried away. We need him. Just tell me what you found. Yes, please. Enlighten us. I found this ledger. I don't recognize the language, but it looks Scandinavian. Norwegian, maybe. I think this is written in Bokmal. I can't read it, but it looks like a shipping manifest. Yeah, something like that. There are a lot of addresses in there. Looks like addresses all the way through. Some are annotated, but I can't see any names. 2/3 of the way through the book, she stops short. Find something interesting? Wordlessly, she turns the journal around. Top of the page, written in a different hand, is a single word. Written in English, but you can understand it all the same. Wednesday. Yeah, not particularly helpful without a full date. Guess it's something. Of course, Wednesday might not refer to the day of the week at all. Could be a code for something. Taken out of context like this, it's impossible to say. So you would make of this? It should be good. Might be nothing, or it could mean that he's back in bed with a Lobachevsky syndicate. Silence. Is that it, Yuli? You taking orders from your old bosses again? Maybe. Who's to say? You are, if you know what's good for you. Gonna hit me again? Okay, then yes, I am working for the Lobachevskys. You want names? I'll give you names. More names than you know what to do with. What's happening on Wednesday, Yuli? This Wednesday, I'll be putting your mother to work on the street corner. When she's all worn out, I'll give your father a shot at the job. Your fist connects with the ruptured bag of flesh that used to be his nose. He lets out a grunting sound, then falls silent. Did you find anything else? Need to be sure about this before moving forward. I found a body in the other room. The looks of him, he tried using his head to beat down a steel-reinforced door. Oh, interesting, but not unusual in these parts. All kinds of drugs that make a person act that way, and most of them are hard to get. A place like Shotnest. Have you found anything else? I'll keep searching. Alright. Yeah. Alright. I think I know the password now. Let's try it. Ooh! Plastic lid of the cargo container pops open with a click. Inside you have found what appears to be a homemade Simpsons chip. It sits securely in a custom-made plastic bracket. Take the chip. You pop out the chip and chip out of the bracket and pocket it. A few seconds later, an angry hissing sound comes from somewhere deep within the drone. Oh. As you step away from the drone, the hissing sound grows into a roar. Bright white sparks spit out from the drone's melting chassis and streak across the room. You've seen this kind of reaction before. Thermite. Whoever built the drone must have wired it with a self-destruct device. In seconds, all that's left of the little drone is a molten wreck on the charging cradle. Foul-smelling smoke Foul-smelling smoke pours from the remains. You steal another glance at the chip you've recovered and turn away. Huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. There are a pair of courier drones in the other room. No markings. They looked custom built. One of them had been slagged, but the other had this chip in the storage compartment. When he produced the chip, the engineer's eyes widened slightly. He turns his head and coughs rack his body. Interesting. This means something to you, Yuli? No identifying markings. I've seen enough BTLs in my time to know when I see it, but this is different. It's been modified somehow. Go ahead and slot it, bitch. It'll take you on the ride of your life. Smack him for me, will ya? I'm blurry. Your fist connects with the ruined meat of the engineer's nose. He coughs, chokes on his own blood, and then spits a wad of it on your chest. I thought that this guy was a professional. He is. I know his rep. I know that he's much too careful to get himself addicted to Sims. These things have him hooked this badly, they must be even more addicted than the standard BTLs. It's a frightening thought. You're telling me the last thing we need is more Sim junkies on the streets. You got anything to add to that, Yuli? I have no idea how wrong you are about all this. He struggles to rise from the floor, but his muscles refuse to cooperate. Finally, he gives up with a scowl. If I could move my arms, I'd take that chip from you and show you what it does. I'm sure that you would. Good find, Glugby trash. We've struck a nerve. Any other thoughts? Yeah, actually, I think I might know where the other chip went. Or the body I found in the other room? Yeah, good thought. Go check it out, but be quick. I don't know how long it'll be before we have company here. On it. Okay, a fractured skull glistens wetly in the night. Search for the missing chip. And back a patch of matted hair, you find something that the casual viewer here would have missed. Man had a chip jack. It's a sheet model, sufficient for loading SimSense chips and BTLs, but little else. Doesn't take much effort for you to pry it open. Inside the chip jack, you find a glob of plastic. It looks as though whatever this guy was running melted down sometime after he slotted it. A chip jack like this shouldn't generate enough heat to destroy a SimSense chip. And the logical conclusion is that the chip itself is wired to melt down after use. Take the burnt out chip and leave. Alright. Well. The engineer's eyes remain locked on the chip. His face has gone pallid white, and his shirt is drenched with sweat. His eyes bulge and his breathing is heavy. Iger glances up from manic captive and looks you in the eye. How much you were looking for? Yeah, I pried his chip jack open and found a blob of melted plastic inside. It was still warm to the touch. I've heard of things like this before. Single-use Sims decided to self-destruct when they're slotted. Keeps the customer from reusing the same BTL over and over again. Say you found our missing chip. This isn't a BTL. BTLs don't make you cave your own skull in. You don't know a damn thing. Why don't you educate us? chip doesn't drive you insane. It opens your eyes. Slot one and you become a god. Tiger stares at him, her expression flat. The engineer sneers. I too was a skeptic. Then the wolf caught me and the raven opened my eyes. Now I can see. Give me the chip. It's promised me. I need it. Tell us who you're working for and it's all yours. Tonight. The engineer spits on a mouthful of blood. He hits the tile floor with a sickening splat. Finally, there's a moment of silence. Finally, Iger speaks. Never heard of him. Of course you haven't. If you had, you'd already be dead. They don't leave loose ends. They have money. Money and influence enough to put the syndicates to shame. Even I cannot say how much. But I do know what I've seen is just the tip of the spear. Alright. Let's say you're telling the truth and want some sort of secret society is behind this. What do they want with Shot and Nest? Do not tell me these things. I know is that they want to store things here. Crates, boxes, shipped in from all over. No cargo inspections. No traces back to them. What are they shipping in? Weapons? Drugs? More of these BTLs? You think that I asked them? It's not my place to know. All that I know is what was promised to me. Give me the chip. You promised. She promised you the chip. I, on the other hand, didn't offer you a goddamn thing. Maybe we should just let him slot the thing. Not unless he sweetens the deal. Yeah, Yuli, I'll give you what you want, but you need to make it worth my while. I have a stash. In this warehouse, a custom rifle. It's all yours if you give me what's mine. You use a new rifle. What do you think? What do you think, fearless leader? Deal. Once we know where. Don't deal. Once we know where the stash is, give him the chip. There in the corner. There's a duffel bag under the floor plate. Give it to me. All right, Yuli. It's all yours. Iger leans in and grabs the engineer's head with her left hand. Pries his chip jack open with her right. She slaps the chip into the jack and clicks it shut. Seconds pass. Nothing happens. What have you done? Don't I feel anything? Oops. Sorry, Yuli. Guess the cyberware deactivator shut down your chip jack too. Someone in the back of that addled skull, I'm sure that you probably knew that. But then again, hope springs eternal, doesn't it? I said we'd give you the chip. Never promised that it'd work. Going to kill you. Hear me? And rip out your spine. Never promised I'd let you live either. Iger? You don't have to ask me twice. Suddenly the engineer's entire body bucks forward. His eyes bulge out of his skull and he beats the back of his head against the floor. He opens his mouth to speak, but the only sound that comes out is a gurgling scream. Something's wrong. Look at his hands. York's mil-spec cyber arms are twitching. His fingers seem to move of their own accord, writhing aimlessly in the air. Light on his chip jack begins to blink. How long was that cyberware deactivator going? It was supposed to last. Longer than this. I'm gonna kill Bannock when the engineer's body. Oh. The engineer's body surges forward, a violent convulsion motion. His eyes bulge out of his skull. Then his chest evaporates on a spray of light. Whoa, step back, low P-Trash. Way back. Oh, he exploded. Okay, cool. Good. Good for you. As you watch, the chemical fire that rages from the engineer's body blackens his flesh and spit sparks across the room. It's the same reaction you saw when the drone went up. A thermite reaction. It takes him a full minute to stop twitching. His employer's winter night. They must have implanted that thing in him. Yeah, and judging by the way he reacted, he didn't know that they'd done it. I must have thrown it in while he was getting other work done. I'm willing to bet that if we hadn't used the cyberware deactivator on him, he'd have gone up before he had the chance to spell any names. If we were looking for proof of who his employer was, I think that might be it. Yeah, we know who to warn the Flux State about. Let's grab the rifle and go. We're done here. Oh, there it is. In the vent. There you go, Iger. All yours. Alright. He said this was his custom. He wasn't kidding. Nice. This is a Steyr AUG CSL multi-weapon system. Very nice and a very expensive piece of hardware. You really put in a lot of aftermarket work into this. I don't even recognize some of the accessories he's bolted onto this thing. Interesting. Looks like these aftermarket mods have more or less locked it into an assault rifle configuration, but that's alright. I've been looking for a worthy mid-range weapon, and this will do nicely. Come on, fearless leader, let's get back home. Yeah. Lead the way, I'm right behind you. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. There's a lot going on, too. I was playing the Screamer, but, I ran into game-breaking bugs that soft-locked me out of finishing. So unfortunately, I had to trade one cyberpunk fantasy for another. Mac, how's it going? Oh. Yuban whisks you back towards Zakori's Bazaar. Iger standing by your side. The image of the engineer's body disintegrating in flame replays itself over and over. RCC cyber fantasy. Over and over in your mind, the bright flash of the shower sparks. The overpowering stench of sizzling meat. A blue-green afterimage hangs suspended in the center of your field of vision, and refuses to be blinked away. From what Iger tells you, the engineer was a menace, an international criminal at the top of his game, and as you watched, he was consumed from within by a device that marked him as disposable. The rattle of your U-Bahn car coming to a halt shakes you from your reverie. You're home. Nice. Nice. Alright. Okay, good deal. Alright. Let's talk to Iger. Oh, come on now. Any thoughts on that last run? You should talk about what happened with the engineer. Reed, I'm ready to go over it if you are. So the engineer was working for a secret society. I wasn't expecting that. Neither was I. Part of me is having trouble believing it, but it's true. He really wasn't lying. I could see it in his eyes. Have you had a chance to play with that rifle we got from the engineer's stash? Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of engineering. Shoots straight, has good stopping power, holds a big magazine. A really nice gun. You mentioned a bunch of aftermarket mods when you found it. Have you figured out what they do yet? Just one. It can tag a chambered round with an RF transmitter. After the round hits a target, the transmitter pings on a designated channel, broadcasting the target's exact location to anyone listening in. Whoa! Not bad. In layman's terms, you can use this thing to mark a target. There's cyberware that does the same thing, but Deckers do it all the time. This is the first time I've ever seen this kind of functionality on a rifle. Not bad. Not bad at all. Agreed. I've been reluctant to cart an AR along with me up until now. In my opinion, the added mid-range stopping power didn't justify the trouble of carrying another big, bulky weapon into the field. Really, being a walking arsenal is fine and good. It's also noisy and cumbersome. And those two things are every sniper tries to avoid. Yeah. She pats the engineer's rifle. This thing, though. This adds enough utility that I think is worth the extra weight. I'll find a way to make it work. Have you been able to find any digging on Winter Night? No. There isn't much reliable information out there. Whoever these guys are, they're very good at information control. None of my contacts could find anything but rumor and conjecture. Most of that is too crazy to even consider. How crazy are we talking here? Completely insane. Stories about magical nukes and the end of the world. Penrith shamans, Ragnarok, that kind of thing. Like I said, nuts. Maybe they're running a disinformation campaign, planning strange rumors to create plausible deniability. That's what I was thinking, yeah. Corporations and governments do it all the time. Why not these guys? Anyway, we stopped them cold and shot a nest. Whatever their business is, whatever it was going to be in those crates that the engineer was having shipped in there, it isn't our problem anymore. Corey's Bazaar is safe. On that front, at least. Yeah, it is. We got you to thank for that. Don't downplay what you did back there. Anyway, we shouldn't let it go to our heads. We still have a dragon to worry about. When I left that room to search for clues, the engineer told you something. Something that pushed you over the edge. That son of a bitch said a lot of things. What of it? Oh, nothing. I just wanted to thank you for knocking him down a peg. What do you think? Wondering what he told. Well, nothing. I just wanted to thank you for knocking him down a peg. He needed it, didn't he? You're welcome, Phalanx Leader. It was my pleasure. Out of curiosity, what is that he said to you anyway? Yeah, I saw that coming, but with all due respect, it's none of your business, Fearless Leader. I don't want to fight you on this one, Iger, if this is too personal for you. We could drop it. Yeah, that'd be best. There's something else you want to talk about? That's nothing right now. Let's see if we can get any kind of conversation. I've been dreading this one. Alright. Alright, we left off at a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story, and I have a question for you. What's that? Hold on a second. Let's see, what can we do at this point? Got out of fear steer. But Harrow's Cold is still up and running, right? Still full of kids being brainwashed and worse. So, shouldn't we do something about that? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes. I've been thinking about this for a long time, Glug Petrash. Every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing. But I can't do it alone, and I need your help. That's the idea. Alright, if we're going to do this, you need to be clear what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place. Lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but I feel like this is the right thing to do. There's also horror to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it, and if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, they'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else. We can't find him, and all this will have been for nothing. Likely to run into other complications as well. So I think that I need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think that we can manage both. Oh, boy. Boy, what do we do? What do we even do? Pepperoni pizza man. Pepperoni pizza man. Thank you for that Prime sub. Yeah, appreciate the support too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Enjoyed the emotes that they had for viewing. And have a good night. Yeah, have a good rest. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, you know. Yeah, take care. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Of course. I think we wipe out the cult. Starting with Harrow, as long as he's alive. He can just start all of this over again. We'll save any cultists that we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. Right? Harrow needs to die. I don't want any other kids hurt or killed, but Harrow. That bastard has to pay for what he did to me. She stops, as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, newfound confidence begins to seize her. She looks to you, and there's fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. He needs to die. You're damn right he does. Meet me at the van when you're ready to go. It's a long drive from here to the Schonbuch. She nods. I'll see you there. Alright, cool. Alright, we've got a new mission. I think we're gonna go ahead and do that. I think we're gonna go ahead and do that. Just to get all of our personal missions out of the way. Also, let me see if the updates on Alexander? Nothing right now. Alright. I had 2 karma points. But I don't want to spend them on anything. Like... yeah, I don't want to spend them on anything. So we'll just Hop in the van! The drive from Victoria's Bazaar to the Schillenbuch Forest was a long one. For over 6 hours, you and Glory rode in relative silence with only the sound of the road for company. Now you find yourself crouching in the woods, watching, waiting. Off in the distance, the rustic exterior of Fürstell looks curiously warm and inviting, but you know what's waiting inside. The anticipation churns in your guts like a living thing. Eventually, a van pulls out of the compound's driveway and rolls out along a service road before disappearing from view. Glory gives you a nod and begins to scramble forward. Harrow has left the building. It's time for you to make your way inside. Oh, boy. Alright. We'll add a grenade launcher to Glory's temporary arsenal. Have karma to improve your attributes or skills. No, we're not going to use it right now. The weathered edifice of Fürstell looms above you, dark and sinister in the chill night air. Despite the horrifying stories that Glory told you about this place, something about it feels strangely comforting. In the back of your mind, insidious voices whisper that you could stay here forever. Oh boy, because I'm a mage, I'm like... Because I'm a mage, I'm tapped into this stuff. Unfortunately. You feel it? The lure of this place? When I was a kid, when I was whole, the pull was irresistible. Yeah, I feel it, but it doesn't change what we have to do. No, it doesn't. She looks at you again and her eyes are dark. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet but steady. You're going to see some terrible things in this place, Glugby Trash. Your shell exists to prey on the young, and we're going to have to come face to face with that. Are you sure you're prepared for this? When you say the young, how young do you mean? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm solid. I'm as ready as I'm going to be. She studies your face for a moment longer, then looks away. Good. You want to compare notes, make sure that we're both on the same page? You take Harrow out of commission. You were right that when you said that we couldn't afford to let him live. Even if we completely destroyed this place, it'll be for nothing if we got away. He just started up another cult somewhere else. Oh my gosh. Any suggestions on how we should approach this? Yeah, we're going to take out the shrine that Harrow uses as his power focus. We can't touch him while that thing is standing. And after we bring it down, he'll be vulnerable. Tell me about the shrine. It's a lump of rock about as tall as I am, inscribed with runes and encrusted with bone. The shrine's power comes from an entity that Harrow bound into the stone. Something very old and very dangerous. A toxic spirit. In many ways, it's the heart of this place. We can't touch Harrow while the shrine is intact. If we try, he'll siphon enough power from it to slaughter us where we stand. But if we confront the shrine and kill the spirit, the astral backlash from its death will cripple him. And all we'll have to do is finish him off. Kill the spirit, cripple Harrow, then take him down. I want want to hash out a few more details before we go inside. That makes sense. If you have any questions, it'd be best if you ask them now. So we make our way to the shrine, and then what? Take it out with explosives? Breaking the rock won't work. We'll need to take on the spirit directly. Track it to where it lives and kill it. She passed the satchel that hangs from her shoulder. I brought what we'll need to do that. Well, I can't tell you exactly how this is going to go down, Glugby Trash. The spirit itself will have a good deal of control over that. You'd better prepare yourself, because I think that this is going to be one hell of a fight. How about the other cultists? Save any that we can, but the energy released when the spirit dies will hurt them too. Anyone whose mind it touched will take a hit. Does that mean the backlash will hit us too? You've only just arrived. Spirit hasn't had a chance to worm its way into your aura yet. You might black out for a minute or two, but otherwise you should be fine. As for me, well, like I said, this place can't touch me anymore. Sounds like this is our best shot then. It is. I think I know everything that I need to. Let's get moving. I'm with you. Let's do it. I'm with you. Let's do it. Okay. Get to the shrine. Keep Glory safe.
Yo.
Peebs. Hello, Peebs. Cyber
Peebs
Zombie
rated the stream with 25 viewers.
Cyber Zombie was Saturday. Thank you for shouting out, Peebs. Mac. Peebs. Yeah. Happy Moon. Yeah, we had that mission last Saturday. Peebs, I hope your Bard still stream went well. Oh my gosh. I hope you're doing well. And hello, Raiders. I'm Rat Clown Car. I do RPGs of all kinds. Yeah, I hope your Bard's Tale thing is going well. And I hope everything is going well with that. And better than the Screamer, which, we ran into a problem with the Screamer tonight, I'll be honest. Nice, good deal. But yeah, we ran into a problem with the Screamer that I just can't solve. And namely that, the door that is supposed to be openable with a code is sealed from one side now. So I cannot proceed in game. And in fact, it's a known bug in Japan on the original PC98 floppy version. That's not very well documented, but it's there. It's also the same bug is also in the Sharp X1 version. In fact, the only version where everything works properly is the PC88 version, which is not translated. Not yet. So I think I'm going to go for round 2 with the Screamer next year at some point, but it's going to be the PC88 version going through, like, I don't know, Universal Game Translator or the other thing. Oh god, what's that thing that... Textractor. So yeah, we'll get our revenge on the Screamer someday. Game wins, yeah. We're soft locked to quit the game. And that was pretty much what it was. We got soft locked and we couldn't get to finish it. But it was such a good game though. I mean, and up until that point, I was just... We put so much time in it. We were like a few doors away from the final encounter, pretty much. I'd maxed out my level. I'd done a lot of stuff. I didn't do all the optional stuff because that item was bugged too. One of the items was in the optional things was bugged as well. So yeah. Unfortunately, that happens. What it means is we have a day and a half extra for Shadowrun until the end of the week. And then next week I'll be able to start fresh on Dungeon Magic, which I know I can finish because I finished it before, a long, long time ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you for the raid again. Let's see here. Yeah, we're doing some of the side missions tonight. Just to catch up. We have Glory and Iger's missions to do things here, so. We finished Iger's mission just a minute ago when we're doing... You can hear a distant murmuring sound coming from inside the room. Voices. 3, maybe 4 people, all talking amongst themselves. Can't make out what they're saying, but one of them voices sounds desperate. You've heard the tone before. It's the sound of a man pleading for his life. We should keep moving. Whatever's going on there, we don't want to get involved. Jairus Labyrinth, how's it going? Like somebody's in trouble in there. I don't doubt it, but we're here to kill Harrow, not the people he's brainwashed. After we've taken down the shrine, the cultists in there will be hurt, disoriented. You deal with them then. Alright, Glory, you win. Hopefully. That's not a problem. Okay. Good deal, good deal. We are working on some... The doorway shimmers with a faint red light. As you approach the door, you can feel a squirming sensation in the back of your skull. Your limbs begin to tingle, then feel heavy. It's a good game. It's very good. The closer you get to the doorway, the more of a struggle it is to continue moving forward. It feels as though the strength is being siphoned from your body. Alright, we got willpower 6. Grit your teeth and lean forward, forcing your heavy limbs to move through sheer force of will. As you near the doorknob, it begins to glow red. Sparkling sparks leap from the glowing brass, and the crisp spill of ozone fills the air. Reach for the doorknob. You wrestle an arm. You wrestle an arm up from where it hangs up at your side and reach for the sparking doorknob. A moment later, you feel a cold metal hand grasp your shoulder. Glory. She speaks a single word. Don't. As you step away from the door, the crawling sensation gradually recedes. A moment later, the strength returns to your limbs. The shrine room is right through there, but this barrier wasn't here before. I must have warded the door away after I ran. How do we get through? The ward is like a lock. There must be a key. Back when I helped Harrow run this place, he and I were the only ones allowed in the shrine room. So we look for whoever's taken my place. That's where the key will be. How do we know who that is? It'll be a girl. Harrow will never take a male as a second. He wouldn't want the competition. And her hair will be fire red. It's a sort of insignia of rank within the cult. Girl with red hair, got it. Okay. Terminal. Oh, we got things to do. I leave the terminal alone. I wish I'm going to replay this again at some point. An ostentatiously large tome sits cradled on the pedestal. The paper is robust and fibrous, and the binding has been expertly stitched. A steel plate running along the book's spine anchors it to the pedestal. Glory stares down at it, frowning. Harrow's manifesto. A handcrafted line of bullshit that he feeds to his initiates. We all ate it up with a smile, and he came away convinced that he was a genius. She leaps through the pages with her articulated finger. Looks like he's expanded it over the last few years. It's at least twice as thick as it was when I lived here. Maybe there's something in there we can use. I wouldn't want to just hang around long enough to find out. This is Haro's personal library. He used to experiment in here. There are dangerous things in here, glug pea trash. Sick things. I was never allowed in this room without Haro. Nobody was. He says it was for our safety. I think he was telling the truth. I feel uneasy being in here. I don't want to stay any longer than we have to. I've been on edge since we came in, but that doesn't change the fact that we should learn what we can. Alright, I'll watch your back. But just try and be quick. Alright, leaf through. Look through early pages of the manifesto, what looks like a good place to jump in and start to read. When I first set out on the path to free living, I realized that I'd had to rethink all my earlier assumptions about life. I'd had to question my own values and beliefs, and I needed the strength to trust in the answers that came to me. The prospect was daunting, but also necessary. The true freedom is paved with unanswered questions. After all, you can't learn to be free from a book. The answers won't come from a Bible, an instruction manual, or a code of conduct. If you don't learn that, you'll never break your chains. The path to true freedom is one that each of us must walk on his or her own. What makes life worth living? What in life is truly valuable, and what is the dross that can be burned away? I spent weeks dissecting every aspect of my life to find the answers to these questions. Slowly, agonizingly, I pared down the list until only 4 items remained. These 4 items became the cornerstones of my new philosophy, and the basis for everything that Fierstill stands for. Love, the first cornerstone. Most important. Without love, life is bland and meaningless. Without love, we might as well be machines. Love what you do. Love the people around you. But above all, love yourself. Self-determination, the second cornerstone. Each of us must be his or her own shepherd. No more gods and no more kings. Your life is your own. Lash out against anyone or anything that tries to treat you like property. An assault on your freedom is an assault on your whole being, and it must be met with an equally ferocious response. Charity, the third cornerstone. A miserly life is an empty life. If each of us is his or her own master, then nobody should live as a serf. By helping others along the path to enlightenment, so do we enrich our own lives. Passion, the final cornerstone. Complacency is poison. Be wary of it. Ambition is the key to fulfilling life. Don't settle for what is. If you do, you abandon what could be. Hear a rustling behind you, Glory. Turning, you see a troubled look on her face. That ominous feeling is getting stronger, Glug P. Trash. Feels like we're being watched. Leafing through the middle of the book, you find a section dedicated to Haro's rules of living. Be free. Be free in all things, and experience the freedom with your whole being, body, mind, and spirit. Discard the oppressive traditions of modesty and shame that you've been indoctrinated with since birth. How much do you want to get into a fight to get the story? Oh, you know, I just like reading. Be selfish. Alright, yeah. Show reverence. Alright. At least 20 more pages worth of rules. There's simple rules with a focus on instant gratification. I can see why this would be appealing to a street kid. That's what Haro wrote them for. And he mined an entire Earth's library of 60s counterculture essays. New Age self-help books. Yeah. And cult manifestos to do it. There isn't a single original idea in this thing. The same could be said of all religions. But enough talk. How about you? All right. That's something. You couldn't know that. You were a kid. Might be trash, that ominous feeling. It's getting closer. There's something in the room with us. I'm sure of it. We need to get out of here now. All right, continue reading. Might be trash. Look out. Oh, hey. What the hell was that? Something from another place. Like I said outside, the boundaries between the physical world and the astral space are weak here. Things can come through. I think I've gotten everything out of the book. I think we've gotten everything out of the book that we're going to. Let's get the hell out of here. We need to keep moving anyway. Okay, so I see. That's a... Alright. No, I just got exposition about the place. Here's some extra story. And I screamed sprout from the door. What are the cultists doing to their captives? They're taking their time doing it. Well... Who are you? Lightning bolt! Alright. Alright, let's get to slice and dice. There we go. There we go. I could have left well enough alone, but I didn't. But I didn't. Anyway. He's dead. What else we got in here? Anything cool? We got a jukebox in there. It's on the tread. The tread is just a television. Lori stares at the old Trivid player. When she speaks, her voice is flat. It's unbelievable how little things have changed. I remember selling this for Harrow. The owner, well, he didn't need it anymore. I remember how proud Harrow was. How loved I felt. Any love that you might have felt from that man was a lie, Glory. You know that. Yes, you're right, of course. Let's keep moving. Park Ranger. You step towards the park ranger. His eyes are wide, and they move from you to Glory to the scene of the carnage in the room. Takes a moment Takes you a moment to realize that Glory isn't following you. You turn to her standing in place, staring at the bodies of the slaughtered acolytes. Her expression is unreadable. It had to be done, Glory. They would have killed him. Back when I lived here, I would have too. All that we've done is trade 2 innocent lives for 1. Maybe so, but they were the ones holding the knives. Yeah. Ranger steps forward, then collapses to his knees. He's bleeding in a dozen places from long, shallow wounds. The blood pours from his body in sheets, pooling in a slick on the hardwood floor. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Those monsters were gonna bleed me out. They took turns cutting me, carved up my arm like a holiday roast. You patch him up, Glory. I can fix this. He'll need a trip to the hospital, but I can get him on his feet. Glory goes to work, binding the park ranger's wounds within a matter of minutes. She starts the worst of the bleeding. Thank you. I think I can make it back out of here on my own. My truck isn't far from here. When you get to the hospital, people are going to have questions. What are you going to tell them? What do you want me to say? Well... Tell them whatever you like. By this time tomorrow, this place won't exist anymore. If that's what you want. I owe my life for all that. I owe both. Ray steals up another glance at the dead cultist. She looks back up at the ranger and gives him a curt nod. What they took from me. When they took me, they confiscated my gear. I saw them stash it behind a vent in the garage before they dragged me in here. I don't need it. It'll only slow me down. I'll take it, thanks. No, I don't want you to take it. I want you to just make sure nobody else takes it. I'll be back for it in 3 days. Jeez. All right. Oh yeah, let's raid the fridge. As you open the refrigerator door, a whiff of ammonia sticks in your nostrils. Watery light glints off the door's polished interior. The fridge is stacked full of large plastic bins, all tightly sealed and neatly labeled. It's hard to tell through the opaque plastic, but they all appear to be full of meat. Pop the lid off of a container and take a closer look. The first thing that hits you is the smell. Meat in here is beyond rancid. White mold frosts the sides of the bin. It's all you can do to keep from gagging. As you rush to put the lid back on, you recognize a familiar shape in the rotten meat. A mangled human hand. Is that what I think it is? Ritual supplies. The adversary prefers them aged. What the Harrow teaches all the initiates how to do it. How to harvest the meat, how to store it, how to label it. Nobody likes doing it at first, but you learn. By the end, it doesn't even bother you anymore. This is beyond fucked. We need to get this. We need to shut this place down. Harrow dead, all this will stop. Let's keep moving. Helios. We're doing some Shadowrun. This has been my weekend game, my Saturday game. But I'm kind of expanding it this week because, well, I want to, number one, want to finish it off. This part at least off by the end of the week. And number two, I can't play the Screamer anymore. The Screamer's broken. Not quite. But I can get what you're saying. It's more of a strategy game than a board game. This is the Initiate's dormitory. The new arrivals are brought here. There's still hope for these kids to be trash. Harrow hasn't had a chance to ruin them yet. We need to stop him before he... Wait, listen. Movement in the other room. Strain your ears to listen. Soft voices from inside the room come drifting out of a nearby vent. Not any of the recent ones. I played an old one on the Super NES. You hear a woman's voice. It sounds as crisp and smooth and sweet, and instantly puts you at ease. Calm now, dear. It's probably nothing. No need to worry yourself. The Screamer soft locked on me. I couldn't proceed past a certain point that I was supposed to be able to proceed past. That was supposed to be a password door. For some reason or another, it wasn't a password door on the version that I was playing. It was a one-sided locked door, and I couldn't find a way to get around to that. And apparently there's a problem with, there's a problem with that on real hardware too. And there's also a problem with that on the other port, the Sharp X1 port. Now on the PC 88 version, it works just fine. But but that's the only version that's had anybody document their actually finishing the game, as far as I can tell. PC 98 version has never had anybody showing off that they can finish that game. So, yeah. It's not finishable, I guess. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Glory's back stiffen. She flinches as though... Alright. Male voice, another voice, high-pitched and pleading. As an adolescent boy. What if it is someone? What if the bad people have found us? What if they followed me there and they've come to... Female voice cuts in. Well then, we'll send them away. Perfectly safe here, you had to believe that. Don't worry, dear heart. Never won't let anyone hurt you. Not here. Not in this place. Not ever again. Are you certain, Marta? Positive. Be calm, all of you. As long as you're here with us, nothing bad will ever happen to you. Is that your Marta, Glory? Not mine, Harrow's. She's the Marta from my story, yes. What do you want to do? She's still here. If she's still here, she'll be Harrow's number one. My old position. He had his way with all of us, but he was always sweet on Marta. That means she'll have a key to the shrine room. In that case, we're gonna have to find a way to get it away from her. Yes, but not here and not now. Those kids in there, they'll all die for her. They already love her. That's what she does. You can't risk confronting her in that room. If the situation turns ugly, any one of those kids will happily eat a bullet for her, and that's not what I came here to do. No, it isn't, but we came here to kill Harrow, and she's in the way of us doing that. Yes, she is, but we'll deal with her later. I won't hurt any more kids voluntarily. Morta. Hush now, boys, and get some rest. You have a big day tomorrow. Biggest day of your life. You'll get to meet Harrow. I promise you, after you speak with him, you'll see the whole world in a different way. A better way. All right, Marta. Have a good night. Well, you too, dear heart. All of you. Hear the distant sound of a door sliding shut. Coast is clear. We can handle their initiates. They're just a bunch of scared kids. Without Marta there to egg them on, they won't try anything. Step away. Okay. Alright, I'm just looking at other rooms real quick. Also, we gotta search the things. Glory pauses at the side of the van. She traces the side of it with a claw. I remember cruising the back alleys at Tubing and looking for kids in need of help. The bait girls, Marta and the others like her, would offer them money, food, or drugs, or sex, whatever it took them to get into the van. And once they piled in, Harrow and I would be waiting to greet them. I remember so many nights like that. I remember how much I used to enjoy it. Coming back here shows integrity, Glory. Most runners that I know wouldn't have done what you're doing tonight. Left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have. You pushed me to do this. Find some semblance of redemption I owe you for that. Don't thank me until we're safely back in the Croy's Bazaar. We still don't know how this is going to turn out. That's probably wise. We still have a long way to go. Speaking of which, we should keep moving. Loose vent. Oh, what do we got? Ooh, a gold trauma kit. Yes. Yes, please. And a level 3 med pack. Yes, please. And another level 3 med pack. Yes, please. One second. All right. Well, hopefully. Wait, what? No. Not starting soon. What? No. 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 Yeah. Good music. You hear voices speaking in low tones through the wood of the door. Can't make the words, but the regular courses of laughter tell you that people on the other side are enjoying themselves. More of Harrow's acolytes. We walk through that door, they'll attack us just like last time. No, they're acolytes. I can't make out what they're saying. I spent time in there. A lot of time. That room is for acolytes only. On rare occasion, the initiate is invited in. He doesn't usually come back out again. What is it, a dorm or a lounge or something? Yes, you could call it that. A special place for Harrow's inner circle. The acolytes, the bait girls, Harrow's wives. Well, Do we want to pick this fight? Alright, hold on. Yeah, let's pick this fight. Jeez. Flanked. Yes. Alright, take this guy out then. No! Flamethrower then. A splatterhouse. What? There we go. Alright. Ray armor then. Nice. Something in here that I want to see. Initiate must have worn that in here. Way too small for an acolyte. Maybe he did something to offend Hera, or maybe a member of the inner circle was in the mood for sport. Doesn't matter either way. The owner of this shirt doesn't need it anymore. Dang. Messed up. Messed up. Photo. Hanging against the wall, you find a grainy photograph that has been mounted with a wooden paddle. The wood looks like it was recovered from a construction site. It's rough, splintery stuff, and there are a few nails jutting out of it at odd angles. This photo depicts a pair of teenage girls in ratty clothes posing against a forested backdrop. And the two are entwined in a loving embrace, when one is leaning in a plan a kiss on the other's cheek, and the other one is smiling. The smiling girl has a head of fire red hair. In a moment, you realize what you're looking at. The red-haired girl is Glory. In the picture, she looks vibrant, happy, and alive. You don't recognize the other girl's face, but from what Glory has told you over her past, you'd guess that it's probably Marta. Glory stares at the photo. Her face is devoid of all expression. After a moment, she closes her eyes. He looks good as a redhead. I certainly thought so. I did it for him, you know. A sign of devotion. All I wanted to do was to please him. Of course, I realized what it really was. It was Hera's way of marking me as his property. Like a dog pissing on a tree. What a goddamn fool I was. A glint of light catches something small and delicate hanging from one of the nails in the wood. Leaning in, you can see the object clearly. A thin ring made of braided silver wires. Glory. You know anything about this ring? Marta gave that to me on the day this photo was taken. She said that she made it for me. I left it behind when I left this place behind. Trophy, perhaps? I don't know. She stares at the ring for a long moment, then snatches it from the picture frame. Tucks it away in her satchel. It's mine, so I'm taking it. Now let's keep moving. Well. Well. That's Glugby trash talking. Glugby trash has no tact. Alright. Open the door. Hope we don't get in a fight. The initiate closest to the door whips his head up to look at you. He takes a stutter step backward in alarm and opens his mouth to cry for help. You don't want to do that. We're not here to hurt you. Well... Friend of heroes, don't bother calling Marta out here. We're just going in there to have a word with her. Yeah, okay. You do that. You do that. Yeah, exactly. Magic and shotguns. Not tact. The initiate by the door is staring at Glory's limbs, her eyes wide. She is a mousy little thing. Probably somewhere in the vicinity of 17 years old, with purple contact lenses and a shock of blue hair. She glances up at Glory, blinking. You used to live here, didn't you? I've seen your picture before. You should have been in that room. It's safe for initiates in there. It was a dare. Please don't tell Marta or Mr. Harrow. I don't want to get in trouble. I won't. And to answer your question, yes, I did live here. I was like you, a scared kid. Brought here by Marta for a chance at a new life. I like Marta. She's so nice. I always feel safe when I'm with her. Most adults aren't like that. They either don't notice you or they do for the wrong reasons. But Marta, she cares about us. Can I ask you a question? Go ahead, ask away. Oh, I overheard Marta talking with Mr. Harrow yesterday. I think they were talking about our meeting with them, the one that Marta was just telling us about. Oh, learn to see the world in a different way? Go on. Well, I couldn't really hear the whole conversation, but what I did hear was kind of weird. Mr. Harrow said some stuff about a shrine, and then it sounded like he changed the subject because he started talking about dinner. Something about chopping up meat. Well, Marta got upset, said, they're too new, they're not ready, make the old ones do it. Stuff like that. Then Mr. Harrow said some other things, and she calmed down again. When she left, she was smiling. And so I was just wondering, do you know what they were talking about? I want to make sure that Marta is okay, but can I ask her about it because I don't want her to find out that I was eavesdropping. I think that I know what Harrow has planned for you. Have you ever opened up the fridge in the other room? No. Why? Is that where we're gonna make dinner? I wouldn't worry about it. We'll make sure that Marta is okay. Alright, but don't tell her I told you, please. Don't worry, we won't. How long have you been here, by the way? Almost a week. It's wonderful. Of course it is. So much nicer than living on the street, isn't it? You be good, sweetie. Don't you worry. We'll take care of Marta. It's like I thought. Things have changed in the last few years. Also, Back when I lived here, Harrow would have never let such a fresh convert prepare a sacrifice. He'd wait until she was in so deep, until she felt so indebted to him that she couldn't turn tail and run. It was a rule. You let newcomers get settled for a month, maybe two, before teaching them the more unsavory aspects of cult life. Even then, you'd start them off slow. The first lessons would be you would use pork or chicken, never human meat. That didn't come until much later. Indoctrinating a new recruit after a week is risky as hell, and he had never done it when I lived here. Maybe he's getting cocky. Maybe. Maybe he knows for a fact that they won't run away. The shrine's influence won't let them. Either way, it's a sign of something. Harrow's getting lazy, letting his captive spirit do the heavy lifting for him. So what does that mean for us? I'm still working on that, but I don't think the shrine is just a tool for Harrow anymore. I think he relies on it. He's using it as a crutch. I think that he's let himself become dependent on the damn thing. The girl is never going to have to do what we saw back in the kitchen. We won't let that happen. Oh, on that we're agreed. Alright. Time to... Mara's just on the other side of this door. How this goes, we're going to have to move quickly afterward. If she dies, Harold will know it, and I don't trust her to keep her mouth shut if she lives. So we take the key to the shrine room, break through the ward, and confront the spirit. Are we clear on that? Crystal, let's do this. The woman in this room is lovely. Full lips contrast artfully with her fine elvish features. A tumble of fire-red hair spills down over her shoulders. Beyond her physical beauty, there's something inherently approachable about her. She exudes an almost palpable aura of kindness and warmth. Marta, Glory's old lover, the lure that Harrow used to draw her and so many others to Fürstshell. She looks up with a start at the sound of your approach. Her eyes go wide at the sight of Glory. As she takes in her cyberware, her mouth falls open in horror. Glory? Yes, Marta, it's me. It's been a long time. It has. Glory, what have you done to yourself? What I had to do. I got out, Marta. This was the only way. Oh, Glory. I'm so sorry. Marta steps forward, her arms extended to wrap Glory in a hug. All at once, something in Glory's face changes. Her skin goes from pale to pallid, and her breath becomes ragged. She takes a step back and raises her claws into a defensive posture. Don't you touch me. You're one of Harrow's creatures. You always were. His creatures. Glory, what are you talking about? Well... Well... You know as well as I do. You worship that monster. You seduced me into coming here so that I would worship him. If you hadn't found me, you hadn't baited me, none of this would have happened. No, what? I haven't done anything. You just left me where you found me. I never would have hurt anybody. My mother would still be alive. Never would have sold my soul to that abomination that you all worship. I wouldn't have had to sacrifice my own body to escape from it. It took everything from me. It all started with you. Oh, and I genuinely rescued
Remember I rescued you from a life on the street. Beautiful girl. Homeless, penniless, and living in a gutter. I pulled you away from all that. I saved you. I don't feel much anymore, Marta. Most of the time I'm completely numb. For you, I can make an exception. I hate you. I'm sorry you feel that way, Glory. For my part, I still love you. Another lie. That's the last lie you'll ever tell. I don't think that she's lying, or at least she doesn't think so. She believes what she's saying. That's because it's true. I'll prove it to you. Ask me anything you want. I'll show you that I'm telling the truth. I never wanted anything bad to happen to you. Glory, not ever. Why are you listening to her? She's just telling you what you want to hear. That's our whole purpose here, remember? She's bait. Because of this, and the photo was nailed to. If she were lying, she would have kept them all these years. All right, Marta. Convince me. Convince you of what? That I'm not a monster? I don't know how to do that, Glory. You can start by telling me how you sleep at night. You know what happens to the kids that you bring here. You know what happened to me. You're still luring them here. In Harrow's clutches. All these years later. So tell me, how do you live with yourself? Explain it to me. For a moment, you can see the conflict behind Marta's eyes. If cognitive dissonance had a face, it would be yours. Confused, frightened, angry, all at war with herself. For a moment, she struggles to speak. Then the whispering sensation you felt outside of the compound comes back, and her face changes. The muscles of her brow relax, and she appears to be at peace. Why are you asking me this, Glory? You already know the answers. The kids here, they aren't being hurt. They're just walking the path to a free and pure life, just like Harrow taught us. I haven't been in a fierce shout for an hour, Marta. In that time, I've found evidence of horrible levels of abuse. Nothing that happens here isn't without reason. Harrow's a great man, a prophet. When you meet him for yourself, you'll understand. I'll make you see. She's far too gone to parse what you're saying, Glugpea Trash. After so many years living here, I don't know if she even knows what normal feels like anymore. Or if what you're saying is true. If you ever really did care for me, then please, give me your key. It's important. Key? What you used to get past the wards outside of Harrow's shrine. I need it. Don't ask why, just do it for me. You owe me that much. No. Harrow said that I had to guard this. He told me that I could never take it off. I can't question one of Harrow's orders. That'd be wrong. You question him about what he's planning on doing with those initiates back there. Is that wrong? That's different. You wouldn't understand. She blinks. And that whispering sound returns, soft and insistent. The flicker of unease is replaced with an easy smile. And maybe you could explain it to me. Maybe if you could answer my questions, I'd be able to see the light. Yes, please. Go on and answer your questions. I'll explain everything and you'll see for yourself how perfect and right our way really is. How beautiful it could be. Alright. Let's go through the thing. Let's go through the thing. Alright. I've read Harrow's manifesto. Looks like he spends a long time talking about charity. Yes, of course, charity. The kind that I practice when I rescue young people from the streets. Then, in his rules of living, he says that all free thinkers are supposed to be selfish. Well, yes, but and then after that, he said that only the strong deserve to prosper. So which is it? You just don't understand the beauty of his message. The truth behind it. I said you two spent a lot of time back in the lounge when she lived here. What did you do there? The usual: drink, play games, have sex, watch the trid. The sort of things that lovers usually do in their free time. What do you ask? Because we found his tattered, blood-stained shirt in there. It looks like it came from an initiate. Confusion washes over her face again. She begins blinking agitatedly and fidgeting. And that unseen force clamps down again, and she seems to calm. So you found a shirt. So what? There could be hundreds of explanations for that. You know the kinds of things that happen in that room, Marta. You've heard the stories. We both did. She shakes her head. I've never seen an initiate harmed in that room. Not at once. And as for the rumors, they're just that. They're rumors. They have to be. Herod's hurting the runaways that you bring here. You can see that, can't you? Hurting? How so? When Glory lived here, he had her kill a man for his trivid player. How can that be right? That was a long time ago. And that man, Arrow said he had to die, but I don't remember why. There's no reason, Morta. None of that matters. I should know. I'm the one that killed him. Say whatever else you wanted to say. Give us the amulet. It's the right thing to do. Yes, you're right. Something strange is going on here. Things don't add up. I've never seen it. Don't know why I've never seen it before. What's wrong with me? Is it you? It's this place. It gets into your head. It took a lot more than this to wake me up to it. So you'll give us the amulet? No, I can't go against Taro's orders. He told me to never take it off. And I won't, but I will come with you. I can help save these kids from what's happening here. And that's what I have to do. Alright, cool. Alright. That's what we're here for. In that case, let's just move on to the shrine room. I'll get you through the door. I won't let any more children come to harm. Alright, cool. Cool. Wait, do we have a third party member now? Yes, we do. Cool. Are these friends of yours? Yes, dear heart, they are. We all need to go have a word with Harrow now. You get to bed. You have a big day tomorrow. Yeah. A word. Alright. The word is death. As you step forward, the scintillating red light that streams from the doorway flickers and dies. More like power word kill. More like a lightning bolt to the face. There's a strange lurching sensation as your gut, but it clears almost instantly. The door swings open with a touch. That seems to have done it. Glory nods, then reaches into her satchel. Her hand comes back clutching a small jar. I'm going to smear, I'm gonna put a smear of this on your forehead. It's sort of an alchemical balm. Harrow told me how to make it. She unscrews the cap from the jar, revealing a pale white ointment. The surface glitters strangely in the dim light. Yeah. How's it going for you big gamers? If you only ever wondered where my share of the take of our job... If you ever wondered where my share of the take from our jobs is gone, this is the answer. Powdered orichalcum isn't cheap. Sure it isn't. Where did you even find a supplier? The talismonger Algernon hooked me up with a contact in his words. Big words. Big giant words. Schwarzwald. Troll Kongreich. Schwarzwald. I'm guessing this is a Königreich. Troll Königreich. Schwarzwald. His prices are high, but considering the rarity of material, they're fair. That is a pastiche word, alright. Thankfully. Troll King Empire. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thankfully, I don't need that much of it to make the bomb. She dips a metallic fingertip in the jar and begins to stir. Boundaries between the material world and the astral plane are weak here. This stuff acts as sort of like a lens. It focuses your... This stuff acts as like sort of a lens. It focuses your perception. Yeah, black market. It makes the haze real. Let you commune with the servitors, the emissaries of our great master, the adversary. Not the way I'd have put it, but yes. With this, we can deal with the spirit on its own level. I've only done this with Harold before. He warned me never to try it without him. There's strange things in the place we're about to visit. I'm sure that I've gone up against a stranger. Whatever's waiting for us, we can handle it. I know. This will protect your astral self from spiritual possession. Don't take it off when we're dealing with the shrine, whatever you do. Got it. What about Marta? I'll be fine. This will work just as well. I don't know what's going to happen when we step in that room, Glugby Trash. We're playing with forces outside of our control. Are you ready to do this? Ready as I'll ever be. I'm ready. At the very beginning of this thing, Glugby Trash agreed that Harold needed to die. But from what I've seen here tonight, I suspect that he isn't the real power here anymore. Pure still belongs to Harold, Glory. You know that. Everything here is his. It used to be. But I think that when he started relying on the shrine, he handed this spirit trapped inside of the keys to the kingdom. Alright, Saber Viper, take care. Stay safe. Your husband might think he's in charge here, but he isn't. Not anymore. He's a servant just like everybody else. The only difference is he doesn't know it. No, you're wrong, Glory. You don't know how wrong you are. If you want to save Harold's life, stop arguing with me. I'm trying to say that I think we could change our plans. If Harold wasn't the real threat here, then we shouldn't prioritize killing him. We should try to rescue the cultists instead. Alright, noted. So how do we do that? Do you have something in mind? Yes, rather than killing the spirit, we can attempt to purify it. That'll clear its influences from their minds without hurting them. I think that if we purify the spirit, Fearstill will die, we'll save all the kids. The nightmare will end. If you feel that strongly about it, we can shift our focus to rescuing the kids instead. This is your run, Glory. I'm just here to help. Thank you, Glugby Trash. I'd hate to do the wrong thing here. Now let's get moving. This poisonous cult dies tonight. Let's put an end to all of this. We heal the spirit, then the cultist. We send Harold running and shut this place down. That's the plan. Let's do it. Alright. Oh, game shaved. Good deal. Wait. There we go. Anything to grab? As you approach the shrine, a chorus of high, sibilant voices fills the air. The sound is light and airy, but something about it fills you with a bone-deep dread. Welcome home, Glory. Glory's eyes go wide. She opens her mouth to speak, but no sound escapes her. Glory, what? Something slams into you. A wave of intangible force that turns your consciousness inside out and sends shockwaves reverberating through your mind. The world lurches and everything goes black. Oh. Slowly you begin to stir. Murky, flickering impressions invade the only stillness of your conscious mind. The sensations come in waves, washing up over you and jerking you back towards consciousness. You smell acrid smoke and burning meat. The roar of distant flames whispers in your ears. Your eyes flutter open, a dull red glare fills your vision. As you attempt to struggle to your feet, you become dimly aware that the gravity here feels wrong. Everything is heavier than it should be. Slowly the waves grow still and your senses calm. You find yourself staring into an infinite horizon. The blasted ruins of Fyrstill stretch out in all directions, as far as the eye can see. Is this astral space? No. Or someplace else. You don't have to be more specific. I don't have answers for you, but there's one thing I am sure of. Whatever this place is, the adversary holds sway here. This isn't right. This place doesn't really look like this. When I came here with Harrow, it was all green fields and marble halls. It was so beautiful last time. It was a lie, Marta. What we're seeing now, this is the truth. Your truth, baby. What I saw was real. I think you're both right in a way. I think when Marta traveled here, she saw her interpretation of the adversary's domain. Now we're seeing glory. Now we're seeing glories. That's an interesting observation. What makes you say that? What does it matter? I suppose that it doesn't. Come on, you two. The spirit will be around here, somewhere. You're right, I've seen it. In the heart of this place. That's where we'll find it. Oh no, the chairs. Oh! Well... yeah, it doesn't really work so well. Are you kidding me? Well.
Missed. Well, that was unfortunate. What the? Anyway, we got her. Hey, hello, Fortorchnik. Hope you're doing well. Alright, we got him. Ah. More foits. Alright. What are we doing here? Lightning bolt? In the open. There we go. Nope. Nope. Oh, there's 3 of them. Oh, good. There we go. That's the good stuff. All right. Well, sorry, Marta. Or sorry, Glory. I'll fix you up later. There we go. Oh. Yeah, well, I mean. Oh, hello, rock guy. I'm gonna keep fighting this guy right here. This rock monster. I have a feeling I am. Oh, hello. The thing hovering before you is hideous. Its broad chest is jacketed in scale-like patches. Burning coal and its many sets of antlers shimmer within heat. With heat. I can't stop the rock. I can't. It smells like a barn fire. Wood smoke, burning fur, and blackening bodies. At the sight of it, Marta falls to her knees. Tears stream down her cheeks as she stares up at the spirit in whimpering supplication. Marta, we welcome you back to our domain, child. Speaks in a chorus of clear, lilting voices. You don't hear them so much as feel them. The sensation is strange, like hundreds of butterflies fluttering in your chest. You will remain silent until you are addressed. Do you understand? She nods mutely and clasps her hands to her chest. Ragged breaths heave out of her. She looks like a woman possessed. Good. Fluttering feeling swells, and you feel your knees go weak. Marta sobs with joy. Glory, welcome, child. What a pleasure it is to see you again. Glory steps forward. Trepidation on her face, standing before the towering form of the spirit. She looks frail and small. She takes a deep breath, stills her self, and speaks. I know what you were, spirit. Before the adversary twisted you. Before Harrow bound you into this rock. I can help you be that again. All you need to do is let me. Spirit chuckles. a strange warbling sound that sends a shiver down your spine. We're not in need of our help. We're not in need of help. We are our great master's servant, just as Harrow is. Just as you are, despite your misguided attempt to cut away his love from your heart. Voices in your head soften, become sad, but the fluttering in your chest turns ugly, like the buzzing wings of a swarm of blowflies. You have mangled yourself beyond repair, and you did it to spite him. He who was your greatest benefactor. You betrayed him, child. But he loves you all the same. Cut the shit, Spirit. Cut the shit, Spirit. We all know what the Master's love does to people. Slowly, terribly, the Spirit begins to turn. You can hear the crack and pop of splintering vertebrae as its enormous head shifts on its shoulders. It fixes its cavernous gaze to you. Your friend, this outsider, slanders our great master, but we take no offense. Her words are like babble of a newborn babe. She is ignorant of the truth. The Spirit inclines its head towards you. If the noise continues, we will teach her, and the babble will cease. Or shoots you a sidelong glance. She mouths a word. Don't. I have a message for you from our great master. He has a gift for you. A peace offering. One that he offers freely. A sign of his continued affection for you. He knows that you desire his servant's destruction. As a symbol of his love, he will grant you the power to bring an end to Harrow. He knows that you wish to free the children of Fierstel. As a sign of his compassion. He will help you set them free. You can have everything you want, child. All of this and more. Well. It's a nice pitch, Spirit, but you neglected to mention the price. Spirit leans towards her, clasping its hands. This will cost you nothing. A simple gesture, a trifle, a show of good faith if you demonstrate your love for him. He will reward you beyond your wildest dreams. Remove the protective ward from your neck. And his gift is yours for the taking, yours forevermore. Lori cranes her neck to look up at the reeking cadaverous thing that looms over her. I had my own limbs hacked off to get away from the adversary. I paid somebody to do it. That's how badly I wanted to be free of your great master. Your offer is as pathetic as it was predictable. To be frank, I'm disappointed in you. The barn fire's stench of the Spirit thickens. Yeah. And its antlers glow white. The heat radiating from the thing is like an oven, a kiln, a blast furnace. If you rebuke our master a second time, I will chew what's left of you into mulch. The marrow from your bones will nourish the garden. I promise you this, child. I promise it. That's a good line. I have a better idea. She dips a hand into her satchel and produces a ceremonial dagger. The blade shimmers eerily in the light. We're going to purify you, Spirit. And after we're finished, you'll help us rescue those kids. The Spirit crackles. Very well, child. If pain is what you seek, then we'll bring it to you. Beneath its leathery skin, the thing's bones begin to shift, straining against the ligaments and tendons that bind them. A hideous cracking sound fills the air as the skeleton splinters and pops. Oh, good. There's more. As you watch, the Spirit's body begins to rupture. Great lesions open up in the creature's chest and back, and its ribcage cracks from some horrible internal pressure. The Spirit's chest heaves, and a foul liquid pours from the rips in its flesh. But wait, there's more. A flash of light stabs your eyes, and when your vision clears, you find 3 identical spirits floating before you. Death comes in many forms, child. The fluttering sensation in your chest grows into a rasping pain that steals the breath from your lungs. It feels like you're being eaten alive. Yours will be swift and brutal. Oh, good. Well, you know what? I have a better idea. All lightning. Yeah. Yeah. What? 2 more? 3 more? A figure materializes out of shadows. The form is wispy and insubstantial, a projection of a man distorted by distance. The silhouette ripples like a flag in the wind. Through the haze, you can see his face. He's more beautiful than handsome. Sculpted features and an unnaturally youthful complexion. His expression is sad. Arrow. Glory. A voice is deep but faint, and marred by echoes. It sounds as if he's shouting from the long end of a far end of a long tunnel. You should have come here. I was content to let you live out your life in peace. I've come to put an end to this place, Arrow. This place and your pathetic, sickening cult. And you, Marta? He turns his head to stare at her, a sad smile on his face. I've given you everything. Will you repay my love with betrayal? I'm with Glory, Harrow. I would never hurt you, but this has to end tonight. Betrayal it is, then. Very well. For all of this upon yourselves. Well, you know what? I can shoot you point blank with a shotgun. What? Well. What? All these clones. All right. Anyway, bye, Harrow. Wow. I hope I... I guess I'm not gonna be able to. Oh my gosh. Well, that's okay. Harrow again. Weakened, the spirit's form flickers and sparks. Burning coals that cling to its body fall off in clumps, and its searing antlers begin to cool. The chorus of lilting voices warbles and shrieks as its body transmogrifies into something else. Through the haze, you can see Harrow's eyes go wide. At once, his rippling silhouette begins to fade back into the shadows whence it came. His body becomes insubstantial. Let me guess, Harrow's an old man. Go ahead and run, you fucking coward. Run back to the real world and whatever hole you crawled out of. We'll catch you. Shadows in the shape of the man smile back at you. In the distance, his voice has increased. Sounds like he's shouting from miles away. I don't think so. You don't even know who the real me is, Glory. No, don't worry. We're fine. We'll find you. We're good at that sort of thing. Projection flashes you a condescending grin. Believe whatever you like, fool. Won't do you any good. Years from now, I'll still be doing what I'll do, and you'll have accomplished nothing. Go ahead, Harrow. Try to set up another cult. You won't get far before I hunt you down. You know better than that. Nothing makes me happier than the sound of you lying to yourself. Goodbye, Glory. Run, coward. Run far, far away. We'll find you. Glory continues staring for a long moment at the spot where the projection of Harrow vanished. Her expression is unreadable. Slowly, she turns away. The spirit's writhing form continues its transformation. Twisted claws buckle, break, and reform. Charred bone begins to heal. The barnfire stench of it slowly dies away, replaced by an array of more pleasant smells. Oak and pine and mineral oil. Rustic feasts and mulled wine. Wine? As it cools, the spirit raises its head. Its body is as shaky as a newborn foal. What has happened to us? What have we done? Say nothing. What have you done? Terrible things, spirit. Loathsome, unforgivable things. You've corrupted children, turned them into killers. You've been a party to violence, torture, and the desecration of corpses. You've created monsters. The spirit cringes, shaking its head from side to side. It doesn't speak, but a low rumbling sound emanates from somewhere deep within its chest. Unpleasant to think about, isn't it? But you have to, spirit. You can't run from what you've done. Your actions are a part of you, whether you like it or not. The rumbling sound turns to a tormented howl. The noise conjures images of mourning mothers and caged animals, screeching orphans and dying men. It's the sound of pure, unmitigated despair. Glory takes a step towards the giant creature. Listen to me, spirit. I need your help. We're here to rescue the cultists of Fierstein, the street kids whose minds you touched. We're getting them out of here before the adversary can do to them what he did to you. The spirit stares at Glory for a long moment. Finally, it dips its head in a nod. Yes, we will help you. Wait Damn, something's gone right for a change. The spirit bows its head. We have withdrawn ourselves from the minds of the people here. They are themselves again. Thank you. We'll take our leave of you now. Wait. We wish to do more. We have much to atone for, as you said. Just what do you hope to do? Make amends. Heal the sick and wounded. Bring them the succor of the hearth and home. We can do nothing without your help. You're still bound to the shrine, anchored here. We cannot leave without your assistance. Tell us what you need us to do. You need an appropriate vessel to carry us out of the rock. Something touched by magic, but more dead than alive. Dips its head. Do you have anything that can help us? Gingerly, she reaches up and wraps a hand around the protective ward that hangs around her neck. Yes, I think that I do. Say nothing. A single motion, she snaps a chain. The pendant falls to the floor. The Heart of Fear still lowers its eyeless head and traces an elaborate gesture into the air. A warm glow envelops it, and a similar glow spills from Glory. There's a bright flash, and the spirit is gone. Glory, are you okay? I can feel it. The spirit. It's bound to me now. So what does it mean for us? Can the spirit help us like it said? See for yourself. She raises an arm and heals you for 14 hit points. You feel a burst of warmth and comfort in your chest. Wants to help people. To heal them. Wants redemption just like I do. Together maybe we'll find it. Behind your eyes, your vision starts to twist. Feels as though you're being turned inside out. Time to go. With the spirits linked to the adversary severed, this entire reality is falling apart. See you in the real world, Glory. Yeah. I'll see you there. Earthquake! Alright, cool. Alright, slowly you swim back to consciousness, struggling to your feet. You find Glory already standing and alert. You can feel them. The spirits set them free, but they're trapped here in the complex. The initiates, you mean? Yes, and others. She surveys the room, worry expression on her face. We need to find them and get out of here. The connection between this compound and wherever we were is breaking down. As that place disintegrates, more and more things are spilling through. Like rats fleeing a sinking ship. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Pure Cell is consumed too. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright. Yeah, let's wander around here, wrap this mission up. As you kick the door open and stumble forward in the room, you find yourself surrounded by a sea of teenage faces. Initiates, all huddled together and trembling, with the spirit's influence cleared from their mind. They look frightened and lost, like kids who had their security blankets torn away. Glory steps forward. When she speaks, her voice is gentle. Come on, all of you. We're taking you to safety someplace far away from here. What happened to you? Your arms! Something that you'll never need to worry about. Come on, let's get the hell out of here. Yes, let's. Alright, good. You thread your way back to the trees of the Schonbuch forest, tracing your way back to the thicket where you and Glory hid the van. The inferno that consumed Feuerstelle is spreading. The conflagration casts the forest around you in a sinister orange light. Oh no. We started a forest fire. Great. The heat at your back is intense, unbearable. Far ahead, Glory blazes a trail for you to follow, shredding the foliage in her path. Marta shepherds the shell-shocked initiates along behind you, doing what she can to keep them calm and moving. Fire is moving fast, but you're faster. As Marta helps the last of the kids in the van, you put the vehicle in gear and punch the accelerator. The burning ruin of Feuerstelle recedes into the distance. A glowing speck in the rearview mirror. Peace and safety of the Cloris Bazaar lies ahead. Yeah, I know. Well, we couldn't there. We couldn't. Unfortunately. Alright. Unfortunately, we were in a position of not being able to do what we could. Also, we've been missing out on a lot of extra money posts or extra money opportunities. Largely because I'm not a hacker, or my character isn't a hacker in this. Lori stands, an introspective look on her face. At the sound of her approach, she turns to face you. Thank you for your help at Feuerstelle. I couldn't have done it without you. Speaking of which, I've been meaning to talk with you about that. After the things we saw in there, I'm not surprised. Go ahead, Glugpy Trash. I'm listening. He got away just like you said he would. Yes, and he's already putting distance between himself and the Schonbuch forest. Do you think we did the right thing back then? How do you want to go about tracking him? Finding Hero is going to be a full-time job. I can't track him when we still have a great dragon hanging over our heads. After we dealt with Volclair and the Fire Wing, I'll devote myself wholeheartedly to finding that bastard and finishing this. But for now, we need to keep our eyes on the road ahead. What did you wind up doing with the cultists that we rescued? Did you send them to Samuel? No. He has enough to worry about, keeping the people of the Cloris Bazaar safe. The kids that we rescued, they've been damaged by Hero's philosophies. They can get better. But it's going to take time. Trying to integrate them into our society too quickly would be dangerous. So where did they go? I took them to the talismonger Algernon. He said that he knew a place where they could get help. It won't be easy for them, or quick. But they'll get better in time. How are things going between you and Marta? They aren't. I'm glad that she's still alive. In time she'll heal, but she has a lot of unwanted baggage to deal with. A lot of psychological trauma from the time that she spent with Harrow. She still worships him, you know. It's all I can do to keep her from running off after him. So where is she? Somewhere in the Cloris Bazaar? No, I offered, but she wouldn't come. She still thinks the cities as places where she needs to save people from. Wow. I don't know where she's going to wind up. I don't even think that she does. When she gets there, she'll reach out to me. That much she promised. Let's talk about something else, Glugpy Trash. I'd rather not dwell on this if I don't have to. That answers all of my questions. Alright. Glugpy Trash. Cult Destroyer. Alright. So. So I'm going to... do some things here. Yeah, I'm gonna shop with Malit. Need some tech. I can't get them anything better than what they got. Also, I think... what are we at? Charisma-wise? What are we at? I don't know. I don't know. Ooh. Ooh, what a drop. I think. Okay, I'm still not gonna spend any karma right now. What I am gonna do, save my game, because it's time for me to... time for me to wrap. I think. I've been on for 5 hours. That's long enough. We flunked a game, but, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Alright, alright.